This is the tale of two chuck roasts with Pitmaster John Domen. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to TriCity Pitmasters. And today we're doing two briskets. One's gonna be done on the trusty old PK here that I picked up from fellow Pitmaster Freddie. And then the other chuck roast is gonna take place right over here on the old Weber Kettle. For the PK, what I'm gonna do is I already got like this little ashtray down, and I got a pretty good amount of jealous double lump charcoal there. What I'll do is I'll fill up this chimney about halfway with some of these jealous double briquettes. And then once I kind of get it to temp, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this and put a piece of cherry wood here. Chuck roast will go here. And I'll do it more of a brisket style. Once I get this fire going, I'm gonna try a little bit of a technique. I'm gonna leave this draw here shut, and then I'm gonna go ahead and keep this draw open. And then on the bottom side, for those that know the PK grill, there's two of the same type of draws to pull in oxygen from the bottom. I'm gonna leave the one on this left side shut, and then I'm only gonna be pulling oxygen into the fire from the right side, and then as the smoke kind of pulls in through the chamber, it will exit. So the smoke has to go through the meat. I think in my mind, if I would have left both of these open, I'm getting all the smoke coming out of this side and not all that smoke's getting to the meat, which is what we want. I'm gonna smoke this chuck roast on the PK using cherry wood. So we're doing the poor man's brisket on this side. Over here, on the old trusty kettle, we're gonna be doing Jeff Bailey's smoked Ole Miss chuck roast. A little bit different type of concept. The poor man's brisket, I'm gonna be wrapping with butcher paper, but for this one, I'm gonna be putting it into an aluminum pan, and I'm gonna braise with a packet of ranch dressing, some pepperoncinis, some au jus, and maybe a stick of butter towards the end of that cook. So this one's gonna end up a little bit different. I got the slow and sear in here. I love using the slow and sear, and what I'll do is I'll just take a wax cube, and I'll go ahead and put that wax cube in the corner here, and I'll probably get a third of this charcoal lit in a little bit of wood. And then once I get this going, and the charcoal's probably 3/4 of the way lit, to where I could see maybe 3/4 of the charcoal that's ashed up, I'll go ahead and fill up this this chimney with the rest of the charcoal, and I'll fill the other side. And then I'll close the lid, and once I get blue smoke in both of these, it's time for that meat to come on. Check in with me a little bit. I'm gonna go get those chuck roast seasoned. All right, so we're just over an hour into this, and the smell is phenomenal, by the way. That cherry pecan and the mixture of both seasonings, I mean, it's very aromatic and it smells delicious. So I'm gonna pop the top of this PK, check out how we're doing, and we are looking pretty darn good. I'm gonna go ahead and spray this down a little bit with that Worcestershire mixture and make sure I keep this meat nice and moist. And we're absorbing this smoke pretty good. And we still got a good burn on our wood, so I'm just gonna go and flip that over maybe and start getting into that other side. Ooh, we got some good color. As you can see, we're slowly starting to burn across, and maybe I'll add this piece of jealous devil right there. I'll go ahead and spray this guy down. He does look moist, but you know what they say, the wetter the better. So go ahead and give this guy a nice light spritz and put this lid back on before it gets too hot and continue the cook. I'll check temperature after about 2 hours to see where we're at. I want to wrap this one at 160, and I'm going to end up putting this one into that braising liquid at about 160. All right, we're right at the two hour mark, I believe. So what I want to do is I want to take a look at this and check temp and see where we're at, see how close we're going to be to wrapping, and boy, does that chuck roast look good. Oh my gosh, nice and juicy. Looks like we've kind of expired our wood here, this cherry wood. Maybe I'll flip it that way. Just gonna go ahead and keep spritzing it on down, keep that moisture going. Go ahead and check this guy over here that we had going on the Weber. See what he looks like. Oh, yeah, that looks pretty close. I'm gonna go ahead and check the temp on this. So you can see he's in here pretty moist as well, but that does look pretty darn good. about 150. So I'm gonna allow him to keep going. And let me check temp over here. This one is right about 150 as well. So we're keeping pretty even on this cook. So maybe about 30 more minutes and we'll wrap. All right, so we started this at about 11:50. It's 5 o'clock, so we're about 5 hours and 20 minutes into this cook. We're gonna go ahead and check the temp. This chuck roast we got here foiled up, and this was that braising liquid with the pepperoncinis, some ranch dressing, powder mix, some au jus, and I had laid in there as well a stick of butter and some carrots that were chopped up and some potato and onion, and boy, does that look good. So let's go ahead and check the temperature here, and we're right at 205, 206, and I mean, just poking this thing is just so tender. It's going right through it. So we're done with this guy, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull him, and we're gonna take this inside, let it rest, and we'll slice her up. We're about 6 hours in, and we hit that stall, and I want to check the temp. 203, 205. Let me get it through here a little bit, right through the center of the roast. 206, yeah, I think we're good. I think we'll go ahead and pull this guy and let it rest. First roast that we're gonna kind of dig into here was the Pitmaster Jeff Bailey's smoked Ole Miss chuck roast here. We're gonna pull these veggies and put these veggies right into this Pyrex pot here, and oh my gosh, these onions look delightful. I can't wait to bite into a piece of that. But we want to pull all these veggies off to the side first and get them into this Pyrex, and you know what, this might be a little bit more efficient here, and get all that juice and the pepperoncinis and the au jus and that ranch dressing all kind of poured into there. There we go. It's gonna leave us with that chuck roast. Let me scoop everything right into there. I'm gonna move that over here, and then we'll pull that chuck roast right up to here. And oh my gosh, look at that. So I'm just gonna cut it right down the middle, and that's what you're gonna get there. We got a pretty good smoke ring and on both sides of that, but what I'd really like to do is just kind of slice it down and then shred it and mix it right back in with that juice. This is gonna be a pretty good pot roast here. What I'm gonna do next is I'm just gonna go ahead and shred that and throw that right in with this mixture here with the onion, and we get the rest of this pepperoni in there too, and then we'll have a pretty good little smoked Ole Miss chuck roast here. That's number one. That came off of the Weber Kettle. We smoked for probably about 5.5 hours. Jealous double charcoal, pecan wood, spritzed every hour with some water and Worcestershire and a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and then we pulled it off and put it into this foil pan here with some ranch dressing powder mix, au jus, a little bit of carrots and potatoes and onion, and that was about it. Put a stick of butter on the top, and next thing you know, you got this pretty good smoked Ole Miss chuck roast. So our focus is gonna turn to this poor man's brisket here. I double wrapped it in some butcher paper, and it looks like it absorbed a lot of that moisture pretty darn good. And you know, when you wrap in butcher paper, the good thing is it preserves bark. So let's get into this and check it out. And oh my gosh, does that look delightful. Holy cannolis. Look at that. So let me go ahead and remove this from the paper and put it right on the cutting board. Let's go ahead and check this out. All right, looks pretty darn good. So we got a nice smoke ring. It's very tender. The knife is going right through it like butter. We got a good smoke ring. It's still steamy and warm. Yeah, it looks pretty darn good right there. And this is the poor man's brisket right here. Same recipe I usually use for a full beef brisket, spritzed every hour, very similar seasonings. And as I slice this, it looks pretty good. This is the Tale of Two Chuck Roasts with Pitmaster John Domen with the TriCity Pitmasters. This is our final slice. And it came out looking pretty good. I gotta try this piece. Look at that bark. Flavorful. I could taste that cherry wood and the seasoning. Awesome. PK Grill. Nothing but the best. Joe's Double Charcoal, the Kettle, cherry wood, poor man's brisket.